What's going on, guys? Sabese here. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be talking a lot about new information revealed about the two new Spanish operators in Rainbow Six Siege, Jackal and Mira. Now, while the Invitational is going on, because if you guys didn't know, the Rainbow Six Siege Invitational Tournament in Canada is in full swing right now. We're in the semifinal stage. It's now Saturday, and it actually surprised me a lot how this tournament schedule has kind of changed, and how it's not what I expected it to be, because they're giving like little panel updates and little teasers and little tidbits of information throughout the entire tournament. So instead of having like a full-on 100% reveal at the end, they're having panels reveal certain information throughout the day, in between the semifinal and final rounds of the tournament. So one of the panels from today actually revealed a lot of information and answered a lot of questions without actually having a Q&A, but it subvertly answered a lot of questions we had about the operators, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about them. First, let's talk about Jackal. Now, in Jackal's teaser trailer, we saw him track footsteps with a visor, and he had his pistol out. And so a lot of people were wondering, like, okay, well, tracking footsteps is great and all, but if you have to have your pistol out while you do it, that's not, really good. Like, you're just limiting yourself to your pistol. This is actually not the case. The gameplay demo, this little tidbit we saw of Jackal actually playing, he turned his visor on very, very quickly. In the teaser, he just kind of like, lazily reached up to his head and just pressed a button and then it turned on. But in the actual gameplay, it turned on super quick, so there's not a lot of delay time here. But he was using his rifle. Yeah, they also revealed loadouts too, I'll get into that in a second. But he was using his rifle while his visor was turned on. So that is confirmed. You can use your rifle with Jackal while using the footstep tracker. He does, yeah, I mean, that's his ability right there. That was the main question that people were asking about Jackal, whether or not that was good. We didn't actually see him track any footsteps or get to see it in actual gameplay. Not yet. I'm sure we're going to see plenty of that. They'll probably have a gameplay demo with teams come in and, play with Jackal and Mira. That's my expectation. That's probably what's going to happen tomorrow, but for right now, that's, the question we've got answered about Jackal. Now, there were a lot more questions, a lot more about Mira. Unfortunately, tons of them were answered, which is really good. First off, Mira's device is confirmed to be a one-way window. Like, this is huge. I mean, I was thinking to myself, it was pretty obvious through Mira's teaser that that she would have a window, an explosive that would blow through a reinforced wall or wall, whatever it was, and it would have a window. The debate wasn't whether or not it was a window, it was whether or not it was two-way or one-way. Because if it was a two-way window, then, the gadget's just trash. Like, yeah, you can see outside of the site, if you've got it, the window set up inside the objective. You can see outside the site, that's fine, but enemies can see in. And that's a lot more valuable to the attacking team than it is the defending team. So if it was a two-way window, I would have basically scratched Mira out of the equation and just say, oh, she's not going to be good. But it is confirmed that it is a one-way window, which is really, really, really big. That makes Mira a really very viable operator. It encourages a style of play that is very site defensive. You can have bandits in the room doing bandit tricks more easily. It's a one-way window, and the thermite doesn't see the bandit doing the bandit trick, but the bandit sees the thermite, which is the really, really big part. So bandit tricking is going to be super, super easy to defend if you have a Mira, as well as just general site knowledge. And for this reason, I believe that teams with Miras, and this could even be a competitive strat down the line, could have more 3 armor operators that sit in the room, rooks, docks, tachankas maybe even, because they have that intelligence of the site. You don't need the roamers anymore to protect your back line, your first line of defense against the objective. You don't need roamers to do that anymore if you can just see them through the wall, which is really, really huge. So I think that Mira is going to be very, very good for this reason. That was the big question that was asked out of Mira, which was really, really cool. Now for the armor and the speed, Mira, surprisingly, Mira does not look like it, but she's actually a 3 armor, 1 speed operator, which makes sense given her ability. I get that. She just doesn't look the part. I mean, she looks like she would be a 2-2 or a 1-3, but in reality, she is 3 armor, 1 speed. Jackal is a 2-2, which I think is totally fair. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Jackal is equipped with a 30-round assault rifle, which is, pretty standard. I'm sure it's going to be just an average assault rifle. Nothing probably too great, I don't imagine. But he's also, interestingly enough, I believe Jackal is also the first operator on the attacking team to get a submachine gun, I think. Except for the SMG for, like, Sledge. I think that's true. Okay, now shit, I'm trying to think if any other attacking operator had an SMG. But it's the first one that comes to mind for me that has a submachine gun, and he's got 50 rounds in the magazine, which is a lot of ammo, which provides, an interesting dynamic. An SMG on the attacking team is not, super powerful by any means, but it gives Jackal, a couple different playing styles. I imagine an SMG might be viable on Jackal, especially if you're trying to play a anti-roamer style where you can just play it close quarters. Like, I feel like an SMG would be very good for that. So I understand why they gave it to Jackal. That's really cool. Now, he also has another primary, which is a pump-action shotgun. Nothing too big about that. But here's the kicker. All right, here's the icing on the cake. His secondary, he has a pistol. Okay, that's great. He also has a shortened version of his primary shotgun available as a secondary. Holy shit. Holy God. You can have a secondary shotgun? It's Buck. Jackal is now Buck. Like, they gave a shotgun to an operator on the attacking team as a secondary. Say goodbye to Buck. Like, say goodbye to any breaching operators. Like, you can just do it yourself with with your own shotgun. Like, you don't even need Buck now. I mean, to me, this is a little ridiculous because I don't really think they should have given it to him. I mean, it's the first secondary shotgun we've had in the entire game. Everyone else has had either an SMG or a pistol, but now they're introducing shotguns into secondaries. Which, I mean, I get it. It gives a lot of breaching flexibility, and that's great, but that seems a little too powerful to me. I mean, it just seems way too powerful. It cannot have the destructive capability like Buck, like to blow that big of holes into walls. Like, if it blows, tiny little minute wall, like, peeking holes or whatever, that's fine. But you cannot have it as a full-on breaching device like Buck. Otherwise, it just makes Buck, useless and makes Sledge useless. So, I hope for that reason that shotgun is not powerful. If it's like a thing where, if you're super close quarters and you switch to your shotgun, like, that's fair. That's fine. I don't see a problem with that. But if it's a super powerful breaching tool, I feel like that's not very, very balanced. The same goes for Mira. She also has the secondary shotgun as well, which, in my opinion, it's a little more balanced on the defending team. I don't see that big of a problem. It just allows better peeking holes, better flexibility. That's fine on the defensive team. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the defending team already has shotguns anyway, and just giving one as a secondary is not a huge deal. But Mira's primary, which is going to be used all the time, I guarantee it. She also has the shotgun too, like the extended version. It kind of looks like you took like the Spas 12. Spas 12 is like a really bad example, but it's like you just take the stock off and then, you just have like a really simple shotgun. Now it looks like Frost Shotty, except, shorter. Like, that's what the secondary shotgun looks like. But Mira's primary is the Vector. And for those of you who, COD fans or whatever, you know what the Vector is. It's a very, very high rate of fire submachine gun, generally 36 rounds to the mag. And this gun's going to be extremely powerful. Like, Mira is going to have a very, very good loadout with a Vector and a side shotty. She's going to be very, very good. That gun is going to be great for getting headshots. Its fast rate of fire is going to mean a higher, killing potential, a higher killing time, kind of like Bandit's weapon. And it's just going to be really good. So that's the information that's been answered about Mira and Jackal so far. It's not over yet. They still have lots to reveal. Probably a gameplay demo of Coastline, as well as more information about Year 2 content. and where we're going to go from here. So that's the information we have right now. I hope it's been educational to you. I hope you've taken something out of it. And I'm going to keep you guys updated as we go throughout the weekend tournament. So with that, I will leave you guys with a good night, good day, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.